Hello, 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 and welcome to this episode for building aliasnerd.com. So this is part 7. This is the 7th video we've done for this application. And in this video today, what I think I want to do is talk about code coverage dealing with your tests. So what code coverage is I guess you could explain it as, um, you know, have you tested every line of code that you've written? So if you only have 50% code coverage or test coverage, then I wonder if how you'd say that, code coverage of your tests or test coverage. Not 100%. I'm going to probably look that up. I'll look that up right now, actually. Let's just see. Test coverage. Yeah, so test coverage. Let's just see if code coverage is a thing too. Code measure to describe the degree in which your source code of the program is tested. Yeah, I guess both ways work. So yeah, code coverage, test coverage. So that's sort of the explanation there. It's just a measuring of how much of your source code is tested by your test suite. Very, very important stuff to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure that out. And I'm going to be using a gem here called simplecov, simple COV, to tell us this. And it's an amazing gem. There's a little bit of a setup for this. I'm just trying to remember where I do that setup. I think I do it in the test helper. So let me just jump over to the test helper and see. What it's doing is it's saying don't run. I'm finding the spot where I say don't run it if it's guard. Right up top here. So require simple COV, simple cov, or for simple coverage. Then we're going to start it unless the env is no coverage. And I set the environment variable for no coverage. Oh, where do I set it? I think I set it actually in, let me see. I did this a while ago. So I just want to check for you guys. I think I set it in the guard file because, no, I probably set it in the config. Let's see. Wouldn't mind remembering where I did this. Environment test. No, I don't remember. Crappy. Very, very, very crappy. I thought it might have been in the guard file, but I don't understand why it's not. I guess it's not very important. I will move on here, but I wish I remembered where I did this from. I don't remember. Anyways, I'm going to, well, I could always look here where it tells you to do it. Just in case you guys want to use the gem, it's also good to know this. And what this is actually doing, the thing I'm looking up is so that it doesn't run simplecov every time guard runs if you're using guard. That way, some test unit tests. I don't remember where I'm doing this. I do apologize, guys. Should have remembered this before I started. Oh wait, maybe this is just a thing that guard automatically sets as an environmental. I don't remember. I think I did set up somewhere. Anyways, let's just move on from this. So essentially, it's saying we're going to require it, then we're going to start it every time we run the tests, unless this no coverage thing is set. So to do that, we're just going to go into a new terminal. and run rake test because this is outside of guard and we're just telling it to do all the tests plus the test coverage. So let's just wait for this to run and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we did all our tests. I only have 14 tests. Oh yeah, it's not a very big app, never mind. Okay, so it does say down here, coverage report generated from any test to inside here into a coverage folder, okay, or directory. So we can look in this and go, let's see, that's in CD coverage. And we can ls in there. And you can see we have inside coverage, we have assets and index. So we can simply, I wonder if we can just do open, I could not find file. Okay, so what we'll do is go into this. Uh, okay, so there we go. So we just open up that file and we can see the coverage for all of our different things broken down to all files. Just controllers, we're at about 88.89% covered. Models, we're 100% covered on the models for all the lines of code. We don't have any mailers. Helpers, project helper, we are covered. We don't really have a one line, that's fine. Jobs and libraries, nothing. So pretty much in this application, we don't have much right now, but you can see projects controllers were about 93%, so we got some more to do there. Application controller, we've only covered about 71%. So that's sort of the area where we need to really work on these two files. So I want to get this to 100% coverage, so I'm just going to work on that today. While I'm in here though, I feel that's pretty good coverage, so I'm going to be able to get that done pretty quick. But I do want to see simplecov start. I'm just seeing if it's in here where it talks about that. Then simplecov will only run if you execute the test like this. Coverage equals true rake test. Yeah, I know that. I'm just trying to see. Where do I set that environment variable though? All right, let me just poke around in here though. That's the problem with doing things beforehand because you forget where you set them. Let's just see here. This isn't as much of an instructional thing as it is just full around coding, so we'll waste a little bit of time here doing this. It's not in development, it would be in test. thought it would definitely be in here. It's not in the rake. No, I don't think it's in any of these. It's really weird. I can't remember where I put it. Hmm. Nothing. Anyways, because I don't think it does it if I do button or if I do guard. Whoops. Just gonna run, unless, yeah, because I may not have even set it for this application, but I doubt it. Just gonna run the test, and it doesn't, does it do code coverage? No, it doesn't. Oh, it did. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish off writing these tests then. So we're going to work with, close that. We're going to work with the projects controller, and then split the screen. We're going to work with the projects controller test. Okay, so it gets so all these tests should be good except for set project. We don't technically need to test private methods though, so I'm wondering if that is the code coverage thing that we're missing. So let's go here. Can we drill in? Okay, so I don't have that tested. I don't have that tested. Okay, so it's just that those two lines. So essentially, I just need to under the create, I just need to test if it doesn't save under the create, and that it goes back to new. So that's what we'll do. Just gonna plug my phone in 1 sec. So we'll do the create one first. Okay, So edit should create project. So we'll do, we will copy this down to there. Okay. So shouldn't create project if not valid. Render edit action. Is that what it's? No, wait. New action. Okay, so that's essentially what it should do. It shouldn't create project if not valid. Renders new action. So this renders. That's a nice little test. So we'll do assert not difference. How is this? Let me just verify. Rails assert not diff. No, that's not one, is it? No difference. So we'll do no difference to the project count. If we are missing, we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. Okay, so that is going to fail because we're missing. We'll just do that. We'll just have everything missing. But this is going to redirect to now, wait a minute. Okay. Project params. Oh wait. I think I do need to pass at least one thing into here. We'll just pass this because it's missing the description. So we're going to pass it some stuff for the params, and this should, yeah, fail, not error. So renders new action test. Expected response to be a redirect, but was 200. Oh, here. Yeah, same thing. So it doesn't redirect. Yes, okay. So what we want to do is assert. Let's see how we do this. We want to assert. It's going to be 200 because it stays on the same page, but it renders a different action. Yeah. Assert render action. Let's see what this says. The view would be rendered, the action called, try this. Whoops. I think that's a good one. Assert template new. Let's try that one. Template, whoops. New. So that passed. So let's go and check out our code coverage. Yeah, so it is updating the code coverage. I did that on another project. That's why I couldn't find it. I had that in there where it didn't run code coverage on the guard test because it just takes longer. But or it does something weird like this. Because it's only running one test, so it doesn't really understand what's going on. I wonder if it screwed this up though. Let's just see. Yeah, see? That's why you don't run it like that. Rake test. While that is running, I'm going to see if we can fix that. Rails, simplecov. It's just a matter of sticking that environment variable somewhere. There. Disabling for this, yes. Guard, okay. That's what it is. I knew it was supposed to be in the guard file. Jeez. I was like looking at it forever. I was like, where is this thing? Okay. So we can just go into the, we'll just go into the guard file from here. Where do I put it? Nope. Okay. So we can close this. And in here, we can run guard. Could not low class rspec. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so go back here. I can just write this inside the mini test block probably, but this will be fine. Oh no, wait, this is what I do. Never mind. Damn it. I'm just trying to remember how to do this before. There we go. So it did not run the coverage at all. You can go back over here. That did run the coverage, 48 out of 51. Let's refresh this. One line missing. Perfect. So we have this now being tested. The only thing we have left to test is the update. This destroy, we can get rid of that JSON thing. That doesn't need to be there. So we need to do the same thing for update, have it fail, which is quite simple. I'm just going to go down to the destroy and delete this JSON because we're not using JSON right now for responses. Save that, come over here, and we'll go into the update. So there's get, there's update. Shouldn't update project if not valid. Renders. Okay, so update renders edit action. So once again, I will take out the description, delete that, so that's going to fail. I'm going to go up here and just fix this, bring it down here. Okay, and then we have so it's not going to redirect, it's going to assert template. Edit. Okay, let's check out that test, make sure that test passes. Didn't like it. Ah. Well. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So it did not, when you run the patch, it if project.update project params. Okay, I get it. Because you're updating, the missing description doesn't do anything. But what we could do is have an invalid character. So we will say invalid name will not allow update. Okay. So all we have to do is we'll just change in this and do name. Oh. Okay, so we'll do like name. Okay. I don't remember if I have the name. Project. So it just validates the presence of, so I need to have a validator on there for the type of name. So what I'm going to do for that is this. Just going to steal one from here. Whoops. Just wondering, I'll just steal all this and delete what I don't need. Okay, so we're going to validate on the name. Right here. Okay, so the name has a presence, has a length, has a uniqueness. Doesn't really need to be unique. For right now, we won't do that because we may do it later. Okay, so we have a format. The name has invalid characters. Okay, I'm pretty sure everything will be good there. Okay, so now we have the projects controller. And this should be running and see if it passes. So we need to run the controller one. So that should fix the coverage on the controllers, but it's going to open up some coverage on the models, I'm almost certain, because we implemented the new validations. So we are not testing those validations in the model test. So we're going to have to do that, but let's just update the entire coverage report. We'll run all of our tests, and report is generated. 50 of 52, sweet. So we'll go in and we'll just refresh here, and we have 0 lines missed, so everything is done. I'm going to go back, and you can see we have hundreds. This is still 71 in the application controller, but the models are still completely done, which is odd. Well, I do hit this once, and I probably hit it in the controller test. Doesn't let me dive in to see. So I do have coverage on it. And it looks like I probably have coverage on it through the controller. But it doesn't hurt to run a model test in there anyways. So I'm just going to go into model project test. Alright, since I'm doing that, I'm going to run a weird test here. Okay, so I'm going to do down here. I test that name that I took it from this other application, but I actually test that code here. It's a long test. This is one of the only times I do multiple asserts. This is just testing different names for that one validation. So I like it. It's sort of a fun way to do it. Whoops. Okay, so I'm just going to change out this user.agents for project. I'm going to do the same thing with agent and switch that over to project. I'm just trying to figure out a really clean way of doing this. So I'm going to swap out the project class with @project and do that for all. Okay. Oh shit, I don't want to do it for all. No, that's not what I wanted. I want to switch this over to I didn't do it. Hmm. Oh, I've sort of euchred myself into doing a lot of work here. Okay, so I want to do update. Change 3 words. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do, I'm doing this update because I just want to update the name. I don't need to do a whole create. It doesn't make sense. So okay. And there's a much easier command for doing all this, but I can't be bothered to learn it right now or remember what it is. Alright, so all I need to do is create a project. And I just need fixtures project. And 1. Good. So essentially this is going to check the name validator. So it's going to be handy. Just check it running. So I guess it's a true or false thing. With the update returns true or false, it doesn't actually return the object for validation that you can run valid on. So in update, you can see if project.update, yeah, it returns a boolean. So essentially I could do No, don't do that. No. Okay, so what's happening here is the project is just going to be a boolean, so it's going to update yes or no. It's going to assert if it is yes or no. And let's check that. Okay, so we're good. So it didn't update coverage, and our coverage is already 100%. Well, I don't know why I wrote Rails. This will update the coverage, and we can go back and see we'll go into our application controller. So 5 lines covered, 2 lines missed. Wonder how we could test this. Let's just. So you can see that we covered them 9. We still covered it once. Nine relevant lines. Yeah, we're still good. So I'm going to do a search for how we can cover these devise methods. We may not be able to. How to test a devise. I agree. Integration test. So we do need an integration test for that. So we can easily test that code. Let's see, application controller. So it's pretty much just, the account update might be more. So we could hit the sign up. Yeah, I think we can do that with a integration test. So we'll edit a new file in the tests integration. We'll call it user register test. Okay. And I'm just going to save that, and I'm going to go into, again, a previous app because I can just copy code over, make it a lot easier on myself. Okay, so essentially, successful, we'll test that. So I can just make that, bring that over here, paste that in there. At the very end, I can insert end. Okay, so let's just check this. User register successful land on this doesn't matter. Don't care where we land because we just want to test the one thing. So I don't need to test that. Route path. I think it's sign up. So in so name is, it doesn't really matter. Fred, password, different password. I think again this is sign up. I think that's lowercase u. Sign up. Welcome, you have signed up successfully. The current path must equal new. Okay, we don't care about that because we're just testing. All right, so this is gonna run this integration test, but and the point of this was to test our sign up. What is it called? Oh, capital. It is a capital U. Let's see what the button is called. Whoops. It would help if I had, doesn't matter, it'll tell us in there. We don't need to start a server. Okay. Let's just go grab that, click the sign up. I had it right the first time. We'll see if it passes. The only reason I'm rating this is to get the coverage to test that device stuff. I don't really need this for interesting. Wonder if I have. So I'm going to go into and let's check out the views. Do I have the device views? Yes, I do. And let's go into register new. Okay, it is a lowercase. Sign up, so that works. Password confirm should be there, but let me just start a Rails server so we can look for sure what it's called. I don't get why it wouldn't be there. Password confirmation. Interesting. Okay, so we'll go back here and we'll come back here. We'll paste in password confirmation. We'll save that, and that should run. Got her. Okay, so let's rake test this and run our update our coverage report. So if I'm thinking correctly, this will cover the one line of code that it's missing out of the two. Let's check this out. So oh, I got it both. Okay. Interesting. It's weird why it counts this as being tested, but I guess what happened was it ran through Okay, so what happens is it says before action, it's a device controller. So it runs this method, and it runs the method and goes all the way through, and it didn't run to any issues, so it considered both lines working, which essentially they were. So anything over this would just be overkill. If I went and wrote one just for the account update, it would be overkill because I don't need to test that. So let's go back and see our overall test coverage, and woohoo, 100% test coverage. So we don't have too many tests, like extra tests, because we were hitting 1.36 hits per line, which isn't too bad. Like, let me just see here. Like we are hitting some twice. Where does it say this? I guess you have to go right in. Yeah, like these ones we're hitting twice. But yeah, that's good. We're 100% covered. So that means we know everything is being tested. All the little lines of code seem to be working properly. We can, relevant lines of code anyways. Notice how it doesn't do these end lines. It knows not that those don't need to be tested, although they are because they're part of the class. But yeah, it's smart that way. So we can now comfortably start working on other features, knowing that we are 100% covered on everything we've done so far. And anything we write in the future, we'll write tests for, and just manage and maintain this 100% coverage is very important that way. If you do that, you gain a lot of bonuses from it because we don't have to do a lot of integration tests. We can do a ton of unit tests to test everything in the program, and the unit tests can test edge cases, so we can set up things like in the model where it says the model cannot be saved or cannot be created if you're missing this field or this parameter. And you can go through and check every one of those edge cases, or say like if they only enter in 2 characters in the name field, that's not valid, and you can test that. And that will, even though you may be at 100% code coverage, that's just extra, right? So you're just saying, now that I've tested every line of the code, I also want to test the edge cases, and you can do that very easy with unit tests really quickly. And those are fast to run. So you don't have to necessarily do integration tests at this point. We did one very basic one just to test these things, because it's not like we can go in and we don't want to go in and test the device parameter sanitizer, because that's not our code. That's a third-party code, and they should already have tests for that. But we want to make sure that it works with that third-party stuff works with our program, our application code. So the integration test did that for us there, but it is a protected method, so we don't really need to unit test this thing right here. So yeah, anyways, 100% coverage. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm ready to increase the features on this application, knowing that I'm not falling behind on my code, on my test code at all. So good there, and that's all we'll do today. We'll move on to some new feature stuff next time, along with the tests for those features. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later.